Nearly 1 in 3 adults in the US have been diagnosed with depression at some point in their lives, and if you're watching this video, chances are you're probably one of them. But what does that have to do with Dungeons & Dragons? I've identified 5 life-changing benefits of playing D&D that helped transform me from an anxious mess who couldn't muster up the energy to fold laundry or get out of bed into a normal, functioning person who writes books, exercises regularly, and actually enjoys life. The first benefit is that playing D&D allows you to practice being a better version of yourself in a safe space free of external consequences. I might be a nervous wreck at the thought of asking for a raise or standing up for myself when I've been wronged, but once a week I get to pretend to be Hordek, the half-orc who constantly demands more gold and speaks up when somebody's being a disrespectful jerk. If you do this enough, you end up essentially tricking your subconscious mind into believing that you are confident and worthy of respect. This is similar to a technique used in cognitive behavioral therapy, in which you and your therapist act out different scenarios associated with negative thought patterns. They have you practice navigating the situation to reinforce healthy coping mechanisms and practice more positive behavior. Of course, your dungeon master is not a replacement for a therapist, but when I'm in a difficult situation, I find it very helpful to stop and ask myself, what would my character do? To explore this concept further, I highly recommend you check out the book The Alter Ego Effect by Todd Herman. The second benefit of playing D&D is that it actually gives you something to look forward to. When you're battling depression, everyday life can feel like constantly getting knocked over and punched in the face. Even when you manage to stand back up, BAM! Something comes and hits you again. Your life can feel like a non-stop series of horrible, terrible, no good, very bad days. When brushing your teeth and feeding yourself feel like overwhelming chores that you just can't care about. Knowing that you have a D&D session scheduled can be a spark of joy in a dark and desolate cave of despair. It's like gifting yourself that feeling of anticipation and excitement when you schedule a vacation. Having something to look forward to, even if it's just a few hours of make-believe, can be enough of a motivator and positive thing in your life to help you slog through the tough and difficult days. I found myself significantly more happy and optimistic when I knew that I'd be playing D&D soon, and I would actually have a little bit of energy to put into normal, everyday things. Aside from that, having something on the calendar that you're actually looking forward to can help ground you in reality and snap you out of the doldrums of numbness and complacency that frequently accompany depression, where entire weeks or months can slip by unnoticed and unaccounted for. The next benefit is that playing D&D is a creative outlet with unlimited possibilities. Having a creative outlet in your life will help reduce stress and improve your mental health. And playing D&D provides so many opportunities for you to be creative and express yourself. Aside from actually role-playing during a session, D&D is a gateway hobby that leads to so many other creative endeavors. World building, writing stories and adventures, drawing characters, painting miniatures, making videos, designing games. The list goes on and on. I completely forgot how much I enjoyed writing until I started playing D&D again. But since that fire's been reignited, I find myself getting lost in the process of crafting words daily. And it's given me a renewed sense of purpose and clear goals to work towards. When you're severely depressed, finding something that brings you joy is an absolute game changer. Not to mention the true satisfaction that you get when you complete a work of art, and the sense of self-worth that you develop as you continue practicing and growing your skills. Another life-changing benefit to playing D&D when you are deep in the trenches of depression is that it gives you a space to actually get small wins. Sometimes everything you do makes you feel like a complete and utter failure who the universe is conspiring against. You might not have been able to go grocery shopping for the last month, but by God, you rolled a nat 20 against the Bugbear Captain and then used your shield to surf across the lava and save the prince. Obtaining and celebrating these little wins can be a huge boost to your mood and self-esteem. It may sound a little silly to people who aren't depressed, but something as small and trivial as finding success, even if it's completely imaginary, can be enough to motivate you through another week of misery, because you are the hero of the Sword Coast, goddammit. The people need you. I think these little wins are particularly effective at helping with depression because they represent a choice that you made as a character to overcome an obstacle or difficulty that you're facing, which empowers you to eventually take more actions in real life and exert a degree of control over your life and circumstances. Real quick, if you're enjoying the video, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow and helps me pursue my dream of being a full-time writer, which, speaking of, if you want to check out the book that I've written, The Rift to Rhymorra, you can find it on my website. Okay, that's all. The final huge benefit of playing Dungeons & Dragons is that it inherently gives you an opportunity to socialize. It's no secret that humans are a very social species. When you're depressed, it's very comfortable to stay isolated, which leads to loneliness, which leads to more depression. Even if your barometer for socializing is incredibly low, it is still hardwired into our monkey brains that we want to belong to a group of some sort. So why not make that group a bunch of other nerds? Playing D&D helps you make connections with other humans, which can lead to friendships, which can lead to a full support system of people who care about you. Despite the horror stories that you might see on Reddit, I've had great success at finding strangers to play with. And 6 years later, those strangers have become some of my closest friends. Aside from that, although playing online is great, I highly encourage you to play in person if you are able to. It helps get you out of the house, change up your routine, and being around other people is a surprisingly effective motivator for actually taking care of your personal hygiene and health. D&D is not a magic bullet that's instantly going to fix your depression, because that's not how it works, and it is certainly not a replacement for professional help. But it is a fantastic tool to have on your tool belt, along with physical activity, drinking plenty of water, and practicing mindfulness, that did amazing things for my depression and mental health, and I think if you give it a shot, it will for you too.